Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Records and Rants. It's the Grammys Special 2024, but we can't do it without Dixon. How are you?
Ice, great to be back. Breaking edition, if you will, and one of our first times covering this, but you felt the need to talk about this immediately because you were surprised at what happened during the infamous award show. Am I having that correct?
I was surprised, Dixon. I was surprised I watched it in the first place, to be honest with you, because I usually never do this.
Let's get the first surprise out of the way.
Yeah. First, surprise number one. Surprise number one. Ice actually watched something music related, the Grammys no less, and the reason that I did it, I had a very busy weekend. My fiance and I were away from each other. Didn't really get to see each other that much. So
hate to hear that.
Well, everything worked out because we sat down. We had a nice night. We watched because she was watching the Grammys. Not something I would pick, but I enjoyed watching it with her because we sat down and I was going off the whole time. So it was it was pretty fun. And Dixon could attest to this because BTS, I was texting you incessantly as things were happening. Yeah.
You were, and I was just as surprised that you were as involved as you were, but I was just as surprised at the content of the messages that you found so surprising, which I agreed with.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and this was the first time I looked at any of the nominees, first time I saw any of the performances coming up. Like I went in blind essentially.
Right.
And yeah, a lot of things happened, and I figured we would just cover some of the big things. I don't know. Well, I guess first of all, I just want to say the night started off, the show comes on and who's hosting but friggin' Trevor Noah.
I thought he was canned from Comedy Central. What is he picking up? He's moonlighting on these award shows now or what?
That's what I thought too. Me and my fiance are watching. I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, what? I'm like, this guy is probably the worst, most unfunny guy on the planet. So Trevor, for those that don't know, Trevor Noah took over The Daily Show, which Jon Stewart used to host, which was a legendary show. Everyone loved it back in the day.
You're a big fan of The Daily Show. You love The Daily Show.
I used to absolutely love The Daily Show. And I don't know, back when The Daily Show was on, I was probably like 15. I probably didn't even know what was going on. I just found it funny. It was on Comedy Central. But
sure.
And after that, Trevor Noah took over, and he seems like a nice guy. I hate to say this. I hate to be mean about him, but something about his delivery or his candor, or there's something that's just not funny. So I felt bad watching him host, but I will say this, Dixon, I think he did an okay job. I think he did pretty okay.
See, I've never seen one episode of The Daily Show ever in my life.
Oh, wow.
I've never seen one episode of South Park ever in my life. I don't think that Trevor Noah is that funny. I don't think who's the guy in James Corden? I don't think James Corden's funny. I didn't think Jay Leno was funny. I don't think Seth Meyers or Stephen Colbert are funny. I just in general, I don't think, and I'm not opposed to laughter. The last time I laughed at something, I think was Curb Your Enthusiasm. Seinfeld, which is Seinfeld with curse words.
You would like that, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I could see how. I mean, do people like Trevor Noah? Is that why they have Trevor Noah on just about everything? I mean, he's the new edition of James Corden, and before that, who was it? It was Michael Strahan's on everything too.
Yeah, he's another one that they push. But yeah, this Trevor Noah,
he's another one that
push. But and I don't know. I don't get the appeal. And again, he seems like a nice guy. It's not like I'm angry towards him, but it's just the presentation and the way that he delivers the jokes. It doesn't. It has never worked for me, and I just don't get the appeal of him. But it's funny because he's been there forever. He's been around forever, and he got this opportunity to be on The Daily Show, which really kind of like skyrocketed him into, into the limelight, essentially. I don't know if he's still on there. I couldn't tell you, but again, like I said, I think he did an okay job hosting. He did this long spiel in the beginning that was like 15 minutes long. It was actually kind of impressed that he did that without stumbling over his words. That's something that I definitely wouldn't be able to do, but he kept it going. I would say it was a okay hosting, I'll say.
Okay. Yeah. All right, good. That's a good thing. And you then saw the show and you were shocked at the award for Best Alternative Jazz Album. Am I correct by saying that?
Wait, was that there? I don't.
No. Well,
Oh yeah, that's what this whole thing's about.
oh
um,
man.
I don't know what should we even get into first. I have some of the things that I want to talk about, and
Well, let me just point out a couple things
sure.
real quick, because you texted me this and I was surprised.
Hmm.
Um, so album of the year. Now maybe this is a surprise, maybe it's not, but Taylor Swift Midnights won
Yeah.
album of the year,
Yes,
and
it did.
she was up against several albums. I didn't realize Miley Cyrus had a new album that came out last March, Endless Summer Vacation. I would
Well,
like to check that out. I've always been a Miley fan.
let me tell you something, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have to bring it up because you just said it.
Yes.
But Endless Summer Vacation is a fantastic album, and I love it.
Really? Why didn't we should have mentioned this? I didn't even know it was out there.
I don't know why we didn't, because I hear these songs, and I was listening to some Miley's. I don't even know how I got into it, but I'm like, wow, these are bangers. These are so good. This is like,
Yeah.
it's like a mature Miley singing these songs. That's kind of what I thought. And the production on it is good. The music accompaniment, the way that they structure it's good. It's really good, and a lot of songs are catchy on there. And I was upset. I was upset when I saw that. I'm like, I think Miley should have got that, but but again, I don't know any of the other albums on this list except Midnight's, which we listened to. But I didn't mean to interrupt you, Dixon. We could continue.
No, absolutely no. So yes, I was just going to say we listened to Midnight's. We you and I listened to Midnight's. Olivia Rodrigo makes really good music. She makes really good music, accessible. It's like an accessible emo that's like fashionable. You know what I mean? Like she's really pouring it out there, and she's very talented. Listen to Midnight's.
Absolutely.
I listened to Lana Del Rey's new album. Did you know there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? Now I'm going to check out Endless Summer Vacation. But I tell you what, was this a surprise or not? Maybe not, because we know that every institution in the world bows down to Taylor Swift.
Yes.
A quality album. You and I mentioned this on the Taylor Swift episode. We enjoyed Midnights. We really did. And you're not going to hear this everywhere else. Two guys saying they enjoyed this album. You're not.
No, this is unique. You'll never ever hear this anywhere else. Two guys saying this. Yeah.
Right. You're exactly right. But Lana Del Rey's album, Did You Know There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard? I would argue it kind of went under the radar. I discovered it at the end of last year. That is a far superior album to Midnight's. The songwriting, the production, which is interesting to mention because Jack Antonoff from the band Bleachers produced both of those albums. And he actually ended up winning Producer of the Year. So he's playing for two teams here, and he ends up taking home some hardware himself. Is this allowed? Is this okay?
Is there a conflict of interest? Or I guess that just flies under the radar too. But
evidently,
I know I was shocked when he told me that. But and Dixon, I could absolutely believe that Lana Del Rey's album was superior, and I haven't listened to it yet. I would really like to, but I think Lana Del Rey is one of those artists that just. She's part of her craft, and she does something different. It's not really stuff that I feel like is mainstream produced.
No, it's not. And you can make the argument that she was, and there was the first time I think she was in the public eye. She was on SNL, and I guess she totally bombed. So there was those rumors swirling that she was sort of an industry plant as well. But her stuff is so quality and it's so heartfelt, and.
Right.
Now she has a new album coming out, I believe, in April, and she's going country. And her approach is always very unconventional, right? She's a very unconventional approach. The last several months last year, she was was moonlighting as a waitress in Waffle House in Mississippi. Was caught on the sidelines of the Oklahoma football team with the marching band. She spent some time in Alabama. Her and Jack Antonoff are going to Nashville to record this album, but she's also teamed up with a songwriter who writes a lot of bangers. Turns out he's pretty religious, and he's actually a religious songwriter, a Christian music songwriter, and he's written a lot of songs for others as well. So I'm really excited to hear that. Speaking of country stuff, and you're not going to go this is in the direction that you didn't think it was going to go, but Jelly Roll snubbed, I think, on the new artist. Now, I will argue as well. Jelly Roll is everywhere. they want Jelly Roll to be the next guy. Jelly Roll, every time you walk, you hear that effing mother effing somebody save me. You know what?
Yeah, I'm done with. Yes,
Yeah.
we get it. We get it. Jelly Roll, yeah.
we get it. Damn it! Enough. I heard it 5,000 times. I never saw it out.
We're
done.
We're done. We're done with it. We're done.
Ice Spice too, which I think is she's a lot of fun. I think she's good too.
Oh, absolutely.
They both lost to Victoria Monet, who I didn't even know who that is. But
I don't either. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think Jelly Roll got snubbed too. But really quick, Dixon, this was kind of funny, but just to go back to Taylor Swift really quick for Album of the Year, did I tell you how Trevor Noah introduced the announcement of Album of the Year, like who won? No. So I'm watching, and Trevor's like, okay, now we're gonna cut to the most influential band ever in the history of the world to announce Album of the Year. Who do they cut to, Dixon? But friggin' U2 in the Las Vegas sphere.
U2 in the Vegas sphere.
Yes.
Oh my.
And I'm like,
and this was serious. This wasn't satire.
No. He's like, we're gonna cut to the most influential band in the world now to announce Album of the Year. And my eyes rolled back in my head so far. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! You can't believe that you said that, and we're cutting to U2.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
People, do they have ears?
I don't know.
Anybody have ears?
I don't know who the heck knows. But I just thought that was funny because, as longtime viewers know, we are not fans of U2. We made a whole video about it. We got a lot of hate. Don't care, but we put our opinion out there. Just funny that U2 is still there to haunt us. But yeah. So that's.
You should link that video there because I think we got a fair amount of we got a ton of dislikes, but we got a fair amount of peeps that were on the side of us, and it's interesting because I think U2 I think at the very least is completely overrated.
I couldn't agree more, and I certainly don't think they're the most influential band in the world, but
yeah,
I don't know. I thought that was pretty funny, and also another big announcement of the night was when T Swift announced her new album. She was, and this is all, and wouldn't you know it, she wins, so she breaks the record for having the most Album of the Year Grammys, which I think 4. And as she's up at the podium, she says, well, I'm also going to go backstage and post the picture of the album cover of my new album. Everyone goes, as soon as she says that, everyone goes crazy. And then she posted, and it got 3 million likes within like 1 hour, which has to be a world record for the most amount of likes ever in that short amount of time.
Can't we get a break already?
Right.
You know what she's doing is tantamount to consumer exploitation. Really,
we're getting there. We're getting there.
You had to buy whatever the album was before midnight. There was like 17 editions at Target, all different colors, which were the same effing songs.
I remember. Yeah,
you had to buy all.
We harped on
right?
that. We
talked about this, right?
Yep.
Deluxe Taylor's version, which is 3 extra minutes. Oh my gosh, how visionary, how incredible! Oh, your own version. Why didn't you do that in the beginning? Damn it!
Yeah, exactly.
Number one, number didn't you write the effing song?
I love this.
I can't handle this anymore. I've had enough. And the other thing is now the debacle with Ticketmaster. You had to sell your soul essentially to go Taylor Swift. Had no problem with that at all. Didn't say, you know what, the heck with it. I'm going to do my own thing. Could have stood up for the fans. Said, oh well, we had some issues, but did nothing to remedy that.
Nothing. I don't even know if there was an announcement, and that really peed me off because there's this outward facing kind of persona that she has, that she cares about the fans and blah 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 and all this stuff, but I hate to say this, I think she's getting a little too big in the head, and
yes,
it's totally exemplified by the fact that this was national news, the whole Ticketmaster thing, the prices and how insane it was to get one, and not a single word from her. And I don't know. I just think that's kind of shitty to your fans, right?
Oh, big time. I mean, the thing is the Taylor Swift tour. What she created was it's a status symbol. and you have to go. You have to go. You have to get all the editions of the Target album. You have to go to the tour, and you have to dress up, and you have to write stuff on. Everybody's writing stuff on their face and their skin.
Yep.
You know, they have the lyrics everywhere. You have to do that. You have to watch the Super Bowl because Taylor Swift is in it. You have to go out and get a Stanley Cup for $85. You have to do this. And
right.
In this age of consumerism, this is consumerism. So I'm so annoyed I can't even speak correctly. That is celebrated, and it's a very, I think, dangerous, slippery slope. Meanwhile, I've never seen a genuine moment from Taylor Swift in the last 2 years, at least, when it comes to being for the fans, around the fans, sticking up for the fans, because that's what it is. Without TikTok, without the young girls, unfortunately, running out and buying her album, she's nothing. She has nothing.
Exactly.
And now she's got this thing with the Chiefs, and that just gives her even more star power. And it's really a shame. And I guess there was some drama. I guess Taylor Swift was getting some heat there for a minute. I guess there was something. They had an interaction with Celine Dion, and the interaction wasn't as personal as people would have liked. And I happened to see a post, a peer of mine that took to Taylor Swift's defense and say, well, don't you know that, Celine Dion isn't in great health. Maybe she didn't know how to approach her, these kinds of things. It's like, who the heck cares? Who cares?
I mean, it's gotten, I don't even know what to say other than it's gotten a little out of hand, and I think it's not slowing down.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's kind of an unfortunate state of affairs. And it's not that, we're anti-Taylor Swift. We pointed out music that we like. We liked some of Taylor Swift music. I wouldn't call us Taylor Swift fans.
No.
But I don't know, as a Swiftie, how you cannot be annoyed by how she operates and what she does, just purely from the ego and the consumerism perspective of her whole deal that she has going on.
Yep. I totally agree. I don't think the nice Taylor is there anymore. I think that ship has sailed. It's private jets, big parties, lavish. Look at me,
lavish for sure. Yeah, exactly. You're right.
By the way, I have to say this. I know we're going on about Taylor a lot, but there's one.
We have to.
One quick thing. Way back, longtime fans will remember this. Jimmy Buffett. We talked about his net worth, $1 billion.
Right.
Taylor Swift has now surpassed that at 1.1 billion.
Wow.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, longtime fans of the show, we were critical of Buffett's enterprises. May he rest in peace. We were critical of the exploitation that he had with the cruises and the vacations and everything else. We talked about that as well. And this is being magnified times 10 with Taylor Swift. I don't think, Buffett never sold out as far as she did, with no comment at all from regarding tickets or Ticketmaster. The other thing I think is important to remember is that she collected this Grammy, this Album of the Year award, and beat the record, which I think probably Adele had to have that record. I think maybe. I mean, Adele seemed like she was getting hardware every time she releases something. She's up there. But instead of saying, "Great job, thank you all, really proud of this work," everything else, no, it was, "Oh yeah, thanks. Here's my new album. It's coming out in April. You got to check it out." Like there was nothing. There was forget it. We're moving forward. That's it. Unless she has this backlog of songs that are all her version that she has to get out. I mean, just come on. It's enough's enough.
I know. And Dixon. So you mentioned Adele as being being tied with 3-time Grammy winners for Best Album.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't, believe it or not. Now, I want to read off these names and you tell me if she deserves to stand with these people, okay?
Okay.
Okay. There are 3 artists who have won 3 Grammys for Best Album of the Year, and those are Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
Paul Simon.
Oh my gosh.
And Stevie Wonder.
Oh my goodness. Stevie Wonder. And we just talked about Stevie Wonder on our last episode.
Yeah,
Stevie Wonder, the barriers he's broken, the things he's accomplished, tower over all of these artists. And Paul Simon is one of, now, in my mind, in mainstream music. I think Paul Simon is very underrated as a producer and a songwriter. His catalog is much more expansive than people think, but still honest, open, raw. When you hear Paul Simon songs, you feel like you're getting Paul Simon. Frank Sinatra,
I love that. Yeah.
entertainer, whatever, fine. Sinatra did a lot of great things too, and was important with the Rat Pack, and he was involved in anything else when Sammy Davis would be banned from these venues. Also impressive catalog of music. And you have to wonder, where the heck are we headed?
That's what I'm saying.
If people like Adele, who aren't on that same level, like you just mentioned, people like Lana Del Rey, who seems to always play second fiddle to somebody like Taylor Swift. It's interesting. It is. It's an interesting state of affairs in the state of music, and I think it's more. It's obviously an industry more so than it is art.
Right. I think that's what we're seeing. I think it's getting to that. I think it's about the image, the IP, the marketing, all that stuff.
For sure, absolutely.
But yeah, so that's what happened with T Swift. But
my goodness,
I have to say I want to get to another thing. So we had the performances too, Dixon. So we had Billie Eilish performed, but then you had Miley Cyrus, and she performed Flowers, which she won Record of the Year, Single of the Year. She got a Grammy.
I did know. I did actually know. I lied to you. I did know that song. I did, but I didn't realize it was from a new album. So
So that's the popular one. Not one of my favorites off the album, but she did a good job with the performance. She was really feeling herself, really ad-libbing it. I thought it was good.
There you go. That's good. Yeah. That's good to hear. And the big thing was, and if I'm jumping ahead, please tell me.
No, go ahead.
But country album of the year,
right?
You also had a big surprise.
Right. Now I was shocked about this just because we listened to our boy. We listened to our boy. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank right now.
Zach
yes,
Bryan?
Yes, I'm sorry, Zach Bryan. We listened to our boy Zach Bryan. We reviewed him a lot. I saw he was on the list, but then all of the sudden, Lainey Wilson wins. Now,
right?
Have you heard anything from her? I'm really not well versed in the country sphere. Until we talked about Zach Bryan together, I really didn't know anyone else on this list. And is Lainey Wilson like an up and comer, or do you know her deal?
So yeah, no, Lainey Wilson is very good. Lainey Wilson is good, and Lainey Wilson gets a lot of let's say attention for her rump.
Oh, okay.
for the size of her backside.
Okay,
and but she's been a songwriter, a singer, an artist for many years, for a long time, and has just started to get out there in the last couple of years. And her songs are good. She's very good.
Okay.
And she's dynamic. She's good. She was on the, I think we talked about this. She was on the New Year's Eve, one of the New Year's Eve shows that we talked about earlier last month. But the Zach Bryan album, to me, so Zach Bryan, it turns out, isn't all that great of a guy. He's kind of a
right. Yeah, we talked about this, right?
Yeah. So it's interesting to see. I mean, I think Lainey Wilson is definitely has a lot to offer as far as an artist, as far as image, as far as I trust her. I think she's a nice person.
Okay.
Lost though to Zach Bryan, which I think was a big letdown, because that's Zach Bryan. You're getting Zach Bryan every time you listen to a Zach Bryan song. Yeah. In my opinion, you're not getting a performance. You're not getting like, okay, I think this is what people are going to like. This is what I want to do. And I think you get that with Lainey Wilson too, but still, I think for him to lose to Lainey Wilson is definitely a surprise as far as the quality of production and everything else.
I gotcha. I see what you say. And, you're right. I think Zach Bryan, from what I've listened to from him, it really is like you're getting him. There's no, well, okay, let's just make a song to play to a big audience. You're not listening to like Luke Bryan or something like that. You're listening to something that's from the heart, and that's what I get from his songs. And you said I Remember Everything, like that was a fantastic song.
Yeah, that lost to Chris Stapleton and Dan Wilson, the song White Horse.
Yeah, and I saw that too.
Yeah, I Remember Everything lost to Country Song, which, I mean, to me, Zach Bryan and Casey Musgraves once again, going back to the idea of being an artist, being about being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Musgraves is up there too, and that song is really, it's moving. It's moving when you listen to it, and you feel like you could see yourself and you could see them being in the situation that they're talking about.
Yeah.
And they did end up winning, country duo for that song, but still, that to me is one of the best songs that we listened to all year last year, in my opinion.
Right. And I'm out of this list, I would say that Zach Bryan and Casey Musgraves deserve it. I mean, that's just my opinion though, but
I'm with you.
But so there were a couple upsets there, kind of shocked at some things, but I think one of the things that shocked me the most now, Dixon, and we didn't talk about this one, but did you hear about the Jay-Z speech?
No, I did not hear about the Jay-Z speech.
So, okay. So Jay-Z got an award. He went up there with his daughter, and it was the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. And it's for, I guess, reaching out more than just for your music. I'm not entirely sure what he actually did to win it. But I guess that's not important for the story that we're about to tell. So what happened was Jay-Z gets up there and he seemed a little nervous. And I was like, well, what's going on here? So he starts criticizing the Grammys. Wow. Doesn't really even talk about the award, what he's done to help people. It's just the Grammys are wrong. And he looked out at the people and said, some of you don't deserve to be nominated. Some of you don't even deserve to be here.
Wow.
And and I looked into it. I'm like, why was Jay-Z so pissed? And I just didn't put it together. He's pissed about Beyonce.
Oh, what did Beyonce have in the last couple of years?
No, listen to this. I think this is like the most egomaniacal, dumb thing that you could ever be pissed about. So Beyonce has won 29 Grammys.
Wow. That's quite the shelf. That's
yes.
You need a whole cabinet for all those.
Right? You need a wall. Yeah. You need a wall. You need a support structure to hold up all that.
For sure.
But Jay-Z is pissed because Beyonce has never won an album of the year.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Because she had that album Lemonade that was a commentary on her troubles with Jay-Z.
Yes.
His infidelities and everything else. That was a good album too. I'm not a Beyonce fan myself, but that was a good album too. I mean, compared to Taylor Swift, she's a share in reality.
Right. So, and that's why Jay-Z was so pissed. So he was just going off and he was saying all these things, and it was kind of a jumbled speech. I feel like I don't even know if he planned it. It seemed like he just went up there and started saying it. And and yeah, he was really attacking pretty much everyone. But yeah, the one thing he said, he's like, some of you don't deserve to even be nominated in the categories that you're nominated in. And I'm wondering if that was going against Taylor Swift. I wonder if he has any animosity towards her because she won Album of the Year 4 times.
That's really something else. That's wild. Yeah, that could possibly be it. I mean, I guess if you don't really want the award, then don't accept it. Say like, no, this is Miley used to be. I don't want it. That's not doing anything for you. That's like, Marlon Brando, the actor.
Yeah,
he got Best Actor the one year, and he sent a activist from a Native American tribe to accept the award, and she basically tore the whole thing down. Turns out, I think it was the plot twist. She actually wasn't connected. She wasn't Native American at all.
Oh god. Good.
But it's like, well, just don't show up. Like that's like the ultimate. Like, all right, forget it. I'm not wasting my time here.
Right.
And nobody cares. Nobody's going to pay attention to what you said. Nobody matters. It doesn't matter,
I think one of the more annoying things, and I'm really glad that the Grammys didn't go into any of this, is when, these rich celebrities get up there and they tell us what to do. Oh, everyone has to stop driving your cars. We have to protect the earth. We have to be better and blah, 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 right. And all this bullshit when they've never suffered like a day in their life. So that hasn't, that I didn't see any of that in any of the Grammy Awards, which was pretty nice. I was actually pleasantly surprised.
For sure.
There really wasn't any of that, except, like I said, for Jay-Z. But like I said, or like you were saying, if he was upset about the Grammys in the first place, which he also has 24 Grammys. So,
oh man, come on, Jay-Z.
I can't imagine being upset that you never won, and you, as your pile of gold is sitting behind you, you're like, I want this specific one, and and I hate everyone who's nominated. I hate everyone who won, and I hate the people that are voting on this. And you're all wrong.
Yeah,
and, I mean,
well,
I don't know.
That's interesting.
I think it's a little silly, but what do I know?
I think so too.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I mean, I think to be nominated is certainly an honor, but you have to question,
Yes.
okay, where are we? When you look at some of the winners and past winners and some of the questions, you know, I'm sure there's definitely people that were more deserving, and you probably peeved as a result. You know, and I could see that being a thing too. But I mean, hey, if you're getting there, this is supposed to be the pinnacle of everything in the music industry. I mean, hey, you've done pretty good when you have one. I think.
Yeah.
No, the two of them got a whole room.
Yeah. Exactly. So, yeah. I don't know.
This is an episode we needed to do. Do you have anything else you want to touch on, or should we end on a bright note?
No, I'm done. I said my piece. I hit the high points, and I'm really glad that we did this. But
I know we needed to get some of these things off of our chest.
Right, we did.
The best part about it is we're just sitting here like, oh, can you believe this?
The whole thing.
Such a Monday morning quarterback kind of deal, but
it is. But it's fun. It's fun.
It is fun. It is fun. So, bright spot, which is, I think this is cool. So on our last video we did, and this is a breaking episode. We'll see how the rest of our content schedule looks like. But we just did a episode on the 40th anniversary of the We Are the World superstar recording, and you talked about the documentary on Netflix and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Really good comment that I think we should share.
Sure.
So from a user T0327. Now, Dig the T is a Bob Dylan song.
Oh.
I wonder if that's a connection because this is a Bob Dylan related comment.
Oh, okay.
And this is really succinct. I think this is exactly what we were trying to say. They summed it exactly up. So if you go to the video, don't watch it. Just read this comment and kind of get the idea of what we said. So this person says, I thought the documentary was also very good. The Bob Dylan part was the most interesting thing in the whole documentary, I thought. One could argue that he was probably the most important artist in the room, yet he looked to be the most reserved and most vulnerable when it came to singing his part. The fact that he asked for help and was so self-deprecating says a lot about him and gives us a small insight into what he may really like. I think what he may really be like is what they meant. But yes, and that's a really, really good point.
Yeah.
That Dylan was the most important artist in the room, and that's really, really puts it in perspective. And it's so I think so true.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And you know, at first I was saying how it was comical, and again I had in my mind while I was watching it that Bob, from what you've said about Bob Dylan, like, okay, like he trolls, sometimes he does his own thing or whatever. Maybe he's just acting like this. But then when you see him go up to, Stevie and get the coaching from him, and like he said, like how he's self-deprecating, it really, and like at the end, I said it was such a sweet moment that he was saying like, come on guys, it wasn't that good. You're just saying that to me. It was great. Awesome. It was fantastic. And I totally agree with that comment. That is a great comment. Bob Dylan, he really did. He stole the show. He absolutely did.
Well, there you go. And here we are, Grammys 2024. We could use a little Bob Dylan. We could use a little Americana. We could use a little folk. We could use a little bit of American roots music. Let's all get out there. Put the Stanley Cup down. Turn off the TikTok. Get out and get some sunshine. How about that? How about that as our idea for the week?
Yes.
What do you think?
I love it. I love it, and I'm with you. My Stanley Cup is banished. I'm abstaining from consumerism. We're just enjoying life here.
Do you have a Stanley Cup?
No, I don't. Don't.
Did your fiance have a Stanley Cup?
She does not.
Really? Wow, that's surprising. I have a Walmart version, which is just as good. I think it probably came out of the same factory. But I had purchased a Stanley Cup actually several years ago for my fiance. So I feel like I for the first time in my life I was ahead of the curve on something. So it was kind of nice.
Good for you. Good for you. That's fantastic. You didn't get the Valentine's Day one though, did you?
No. What is that? Like going for like several $100s?
Probably something like that. I can't believe it. So that's
it's yeah.
I was just gonna say that's why we have to listen to you and not get caught up with stuff like that.
Purely from a logistics and hardware standpoint, it makes sense, and it's 40 ounces of water is perfect amount of water to carry around, and it fits in the cup holder. The handle makes it all makes sense, but when it becomes an accessory, I think we're losing our way.
Yeah, when you need to collect the different colors, when you need to have 80 of them, we're getting a little overboard. That's just our opinion.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I'm glad that people really want to hear us and what we think about drinkware and Taylor Swift. And if you want more of these really hot, dark takes, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Comment down below. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite album? What do you want to hear us talk about? And I think the way things have been going here is you kind of drop. We've been kind of alternating, and you drop a history lesson every once in a while, and I introduce a new album or a new artist, and we kind of go back and forth, which is good. So check out the last couple episodes because they're really, really good, really quality. I enjoy them, and I hope you enjoy them as well, Ice.
Oh, of course I do. I always do, Dixon.
Good. Me too.
But guys, always, thanks for listening. Thanks for liking. Thanks for commenting. We really appreciate you guys. We appreciate the fans, okay? Without you guys, we would not be here. That's all we care about. That's all we have to thank.
We care about.
That's it.
That's all it is. We're happy that you listened to this episode, and we're not even going to tease the next episode.
No.
Because we're so glad you're listening, and you're here, and you're present.
That's right.
And you're doing your thing. So right on.
That's right. Possible Kanye review next episode. So we'll see you.
I love it.
All right, guys. We will see you in the next episode. Thanks for listening.
Peace.